Morning. Okay.
Judge Porter, our detention hearing is going to be on this code?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just making sure.
And y'all know we're going in reverse alphabetical order, right?
Reverse order, I got you. Yes, sir.
Yes. And are any of the kids under 14 today?
Let me look.
Normally I look that up as well, and I didn't have time to do it.
No, sir.
Everybody's over 14.
Right. We do have one Spanish-speaking child, Fox 2, Cardenas. She's Spanish-speaking. That's the only I have here.
Okay.
But Maria translates for her typically.
Okay.
Your Honor, she is also under the custody of the department, CPS, and I believe they're online. If I'm
Oh, yes.
correct.
Yes, they are. Thank you, Ms. Rojas.
Welcome.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
There is not a parent for Woody.
For Woody?
Yes, Your Honor. There is not a parent for Woody.
All right. Thank you.
Welcome.
Her mom is going to be bouncing in and out of this hearing because she's at work.
Mom is going to be joining
Yeah, she's got the code. She's at work. She'll try to be here, but she may not be here.
Okay. Let me see if I can find her real quick.
I'm going to text her real quick.
Okay. I'll give her a couple of minutes. And where's Mr. Adeniji?
Her mom says she's ready.
Okay. She just needs to log in then, and I'll let her in. There we go. We're still waiting for Miss Woody's attorney, though.
Hey, Judge, it's Frank. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I'll step in for him
Oh, okay.
so you don't have to wait.
Okay. Miss Woody, is that you appearing by iPhone?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. All right, Ms. Woody, my name is Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in detention or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to have this hearing recorded if you want. If that's the case, Mr. Adler is going to be your attorney for just this hearing. Will let me know. Do you see Mr. Adler on the screen, Ms. Woody?
Yes, I see him.
Good morning.
Okay. Now you have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. If there is something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, I want you to wave your hand like this to get my attention or your attorney's attention. And I will create a special internet chat room just for you and your attorney to talk about what you want to say, okay? That way he can tell you whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense? Okay. Mr. Spence, what brings Miss Woody to court this morning?
Your Honor, this is a 10-day detention hearing. She's pending a motion to modify for a VOCO technical for removing her bank bracelet. That's set on 7/6/20. We resource staffed her on 3/9, and the recommendation was transferred to the REACH program. You actually passed your hearing on 319 and ordered a placement search, which is currently being done. On 416, she was referred in on a DTA. She had removed her monitor again and ran from home. She was picked up at a Walmart in Dallas on 416 of 20 and transported to Dallas County. We transported her back over here. She has a forensic interview on Monday with Alliance for Children.
Okay. And what is her level in the back?
She is 3 acceptable. She's had 2 physical altercations this week. She attacked staff on Monday, and another day, her and 2 other girls jumped on 3 girls in the gym.
All right. Mrs. Woody, were you able to hear what Mr. Spence just said?
Yes.
Okay. It sounds like that she's still having some difficulty obeying the rules in the back. And really, I feel that until she's willing to demonstrate that she can obey the rules in the back, I can't be certain she'll obey your rules at home. Can you?
I'm 100% on board with you. Agreed.
All right. All right. Mr. Adler, what are your thoughts?
Judge, sometimes the facts are the facts.
All right. All right. Miss Woody, can you see me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Your levels are getting better, right?
Yeah.
I want you to keep working on that. Okay. You've got an appointment next week for an interview. Hold on. And I want you to cooperate during that interview. Okay.
All right.
But until then, you're going to have to stay in detention a little longer. You understand why, right?
Yeah, I understand.
All right. Okay. Say hi to your mom.
Hey, mama.
All right.
Okay, baby. I love you. Keep doing what you need to do, okay?
All right. So I got something to tell you, Judge Porter. So I just recently got put on a new medicine, and it's working very good for me. Like, I'm not having so yesterday I got put on it yesterday, and I haven't had no problem. So, by the time the next detention hearing come, I promise you I'll be great. I'll be great. But for now, I just gotta show you. I'm not even mad because I know I was doing wrong.
All right. The medication sometimes it gets wonky. So someday you'll feel great and someday you'll feel not so great.
Mm-hmm.
When you have to talk to the doctor about your medication, I want you to tell the doctor everything that you're feeling. Tell him about all the great days and all the bad days. And that way we can make sure it's exactly right for you. Does that make sense?
All right.
All right, keep doing what you're doing.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy.
3A. All right. Mr. Adeniji, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Frank stepped in for you for the last one.
I appreciate that, Judge. Thanks, Frank.
Mr. Sparks, can you move your chair closer to the computer? How are you doing today?
Doing good.
All right. My name is Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine whether you should remain in the back or be released to a parent or guardian.
Sure.
You have the right to have this hearing in front of Judge Kim. You also have the right to have this hearing recorded. If you want either of those things, your attorney, Mr. Adeniji, will let me know. Do you see Mr. Adeniji on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You also have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. If there is something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, what I want you to do is wave your hand like this.
Yes, sir.
That'll get my attention. That'll also get your attorney's attention. I'll create a special internet chat room just for the two of you to talk. That way he can tell you whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense? Okay. I will also remind the parties that these hearings are being broadcast live on YouTube in compliance with the open reports provision of the Texas Constitution. Recording and/or rebroadcasting of this hearing is expressly prohibited by court order. Any violation of the court's order will subject the broadcaster or recorder to civil and/or criminal contempt. All right. Is Miss Blair here? There's Miss Blair. What brings Mr. Sparks back to court?
Your Honor, this is a 10-day. This is the one where Jalen and several other companions went for a joyride, going at least 100 miles per hour, and they struck a pedestrian. Jalen was identified as the driver by the other individuals in the vehicle. He is also pending the following out of custody charges for terroristic threat and theft of property, $2,500 to $30K, and he's set for court on May the 28th at 9:30. He is on level 1 outstanding since April the 27th.
Do you have any prior referrals to the department?
He does. He back in July 2019, he's had evading arrest detention, which was supervisory caution, JPD. And he's also had unauthorized use of vehicle and ag robbery back in February of 2019, but that was dismissed by the DA. And he's also had assault caused bodily injury back in January of 2018, but that was supervisory caution as well.
So 3 alleged incidents involving vehicles, but he doesn't even have a driver's license yet, does he?
No.
Okay. What says the state? Mr. Williams.
Yes, Judge, there was a serious injury here. I was looking at the victim's report. It shows that one of the individuals had the legs, had a serious injury involving the legs. Also, there was a handgun in this stolen vehicle. Based on those facts, Judge, I believe he's a danger to the community and ask that he be detained.
Mr. Williams, is there any evidence that the firearm was used or exhibited during the commission of this offense?
Not the evading. It shows.
Okay, well then that doesn't necessarily make this a 3G offense, does it?
Not for the firearm.
Okay, Mr. Adeniji, what are your thoughts?
I'll be asking if the judge will let him go home with electronic monitoring. He's on level 1 outstanding, which is what the judge told him the last time we were here. To get it up to that level, and you will consider whether to release him or not.
All right, let me check something real quick. Mr. Williams, let's see. This occurred at 6:40, allegedly occurred at 6:40 at night, and the victim is in the hospital. Tell me about the extent of the victim's injuries.
Judge, I'm just reading from the PO report. It says that she had, or the victim had broken legs.
Talk to me. What's going on? Why is Mr. Sparks driving anyway? He doesn't have a driver's license yet.
I guess it's better than mine. I could tell him all day long to stay from behind the vehicle. Don't do this, don't do that. He has a mind of his own.
So you're telling me if I were to release him today, he's not going to follow my rules and he's not going to follow your rules?
He said he will. He said he don't want to be here anymore. Earned his lesson. I don't know who he's been talking to in there. He's been talking to somebody as far as an adult figure. So somebody's getting his mind right.
Well, tell me more about this.
About this case?
No. About have the change in attitude you've seen?
I mean, since he's called on a regular, every day he calls, he has the same story. He wants to hear feedback on what you guys have to say, if anything, but I don't know what he's doing in there as productive or constructive to persuade me. I'm just going by what he's saying. He's gonna change the company he keep, and it's a wrap, and he don't want to be affiliated with no one, or getting back in school. Counselor dropped his laptop off yesterday and wished him the best of luck. She had good words for him. Of course, it's not on paper. I couldn't use that in his, interest, but I'm just a mother with faith in her son. I'm hoping for the best. You ought to be tired. And
You understand, this is really scary, because if the police report is correct, he put somebody in the hospital with broken legs. That just takes this to a whole new level. And this is not his first time. Hold on just a second, Mr. Sparks. I see you. This is not the first. This is not the first time he's driving without a license, right?
Correct.
And each time it's getting scarier and scarier, right?
It's a scary period to me. I know he's not licensed old enough to be driving here.
He put somebody in the hospital. Is 2 weeks in detention enough for him to have learned his lesson?
Yeah, as far as I was told with this case, I was told he wasn't the driver, but hearing this now, I'm knowing different. It's the company you keep. You got to change the company you keep. You don't need friends. You can stay at home. You got to mind your own.
Judge, it looks like some people in the detention center are doing a good job. Seems to have got into his mind.
Miss Blair, when did he get on level 1-0?
On April the 27th, this week, this Monday.
Okay. And Miss Blair, do you know during his past trips to Kenbo how much time he spent in detention before being released on each of those previous cases?
I think this is his first time being at Kenbo. The other ones were out of custodies. Let me double check. Hold on 1 second.
And he was positive for marijuana when he came in?
Yes.
Mom, where's he getting the drugs?
Off the street. But he's in a recovery class with MHMR. Well, he was. He hasn't been able to attend none of the meetings because he's there with you guys. But
yeah, but
Judge Porter.
Yes, ma'am.
On the priors, he in 2019 he was in there for 16 days, and then yeah, just 16 days, and then he came back in. That was in February, and then he came back in March, and he stayed for a day.
Okay, so this come to Jesus is a little late. Okay, Mr. Sparks.
Sir.
I'm not convinced that you're a changed person yet.
Yes, sir.
I want you to maintain level 1.0 for the next 2 weeks. And if you maintain level 1.0 consistently for the next 2 weeks, then it's going to be real hard for me to tell you that you can't go home next time, okay?
Yes, sir.
But you've been your last trip through here was 16 days. That didn't change your behavior, okay? So it's got to be longer this time for you to convince me that you can change, okay? All right, but I think if I were to release you right now, you'd be a danger to the community. And so I'm going to order that you be detained. That'll be the order of the court. Thank you.
Will he be able to call today?
You calling? Yeah.
Judge, that's all I have on the list.
Well, thank you for all your help, Mr. Adeniji. We will see you next week.
Thank you, Judge.
Make sure you speak clear.
All right. Is the correct way to pronounce your last name Hobdy?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Hobdy, my name is Judge Porter. This is the detention hearing to determine if you should be released or be ordered to remain back in juvenile. You have the right to an attorney. And Mr. Adler is your attorney. Do you see him on the screen?
Yes.
Okay. You have the right to have this hearing recorded. And if you want that, Mr. Adler will let me know. You also have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. If there's something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, what I want you to do is wave your hand like this, okay? I'll create a special internet chat room just for you and your attorney to talk about what you want to talk about. That way he can tell you whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Paxton, there you are. What brings Mr. Hobdy to court today?
Your Honor, he is a companion of the previous kid, Jalen Sparks. He was identified as the back left passenger in that vehicle. He was also, one of the other companions stated that he and Dayron stole the vehicle earlier in that day. So, but he's only charged with evading arrest.
All right. Mr. Williams, you previously told me that there was a gun found in this car. Where was that gun located?
Judge, I believe the report says it was, I believe it was, I think it was in the back seat.
Uh-huh. Where in the back seat?
I don't know if we can link that gun to Mr. Hobdy, but it was a gun involved in there. But I'm not sure if there was no mention that he possessed it at any time.
All right. Well, I appreciate your candor, Mr. Williams. Mr. Adler, what are your thoughts?
Judge, do we have a family member there?
I believe, let's see. Are you Ms. Hobdy?
I am.
All right. And how are you related to Mr. Hobdy?
I'm his mother.
Okay. Mr. Adler.
Can I ask the mother some questions, Judge, please?
You bet.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Thanks for coming. First of all, is it your desire for your son to go home?
It is.
And do you work?
I do.
So if the judge releases him, who would, what type of supervision would he have at home?
My husband's home. He works overnight. He's home during the day. I work during the day and I'm home overnight.
And you can assure Judge Porter that at our next court hearing, whether it's via Zoom or however that may be, you will come to court with him if he's sent home?
I will, yes, sir.
Ma'am, how does he behave at home other than this kind of serious offense that we're talking about?
Previously, he was sneaking out of the house overnight while I was in there sleeping, getting ready for work the next morning. I will wake up and he's gone from the house.
And what do you think has changed now?
I really can't assure you anything has changed. I was, by him being incarcerated for 2 weeks, hopefully, he sees how things are and he'll get his act together and straighten up.
Is he respectful to you and your husband, to his dad?
Yes.
And so would you be asking for the electronic monitor and for him to be basically on lockdown at home?
Yes.
Okay. No further questions, Judge. I'll pass the witness.
Mr. Williams, do you have any questions?
No, I do not, Judge.
All right. Mr. Adler, what are your thoughts?
Judge, I'd ask you to defer to the mom's wishes, give him a chance at home on the electronic monitor. And I haven't received the petition on this case yet. I see that what the referral is gonna be, but I don't think I've received the petition. So I just ask that he be released to go home.
Ms. Paxton, this is his first official referral.
He was referred back in December of 2019 for failure to ID, and that was supervisory caution by the department.
Okay. Ms. Hobby, I am going to order that he be released to you.
Okay.
2 things. First, it's your responsibility to make sure he gets back to court. If he doesn't come back to court, I'll issue a warrant for his arrest. You understand that?
I do. Yes, sir.
The second bad thing concerns you. If he doesn't come back to court when he's supposed to, I could issue an order that results in you being taken to the Tarrant County Jail. Now, knowing that he could cause you to go to the Tarrant County Jail, knowing that there's a history of sneaking out at night, not obeying your rules, are you still willing to take a chance on him? Are you willing to go to jail for him?
I'm not willing to go to jail for him, but however, I do think he have learned his lesson and he's not going to sneak out. I can assure you that.
All right, but you're aware of the consequences, right?
I am.
Mr. Hobby,
Yes.
are you going to be back in court when you're supposed to be?
Yes, sir.
You going to obey your mother's rules?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you got to level 1-0 in the back. This is your first time. I expect you to maintain at level 1-0 at home. You got that?
Yes, sir.
Mom, if he doesn't obey and if he doesn't maintain level 1-0 at home, you give Miss Paxton a call and we will address the issue. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hobby, your mom and I are on the same team. So you can either fight us or you can either cooperate. Totally up to you. But things become a little bit more difficult for you if you fight us, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's going to be the order of the court.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Adler.
Thank you.
All right. Where's Mr. Hall? Oh.
Your Honor, if this is for Mr. Gunn, it looks like that's a waiver.
It is, and I'm disappointed.
Can't help you there, Judge.
I like Mr. Gunn. Mr. Gunn, he's not a bad kid. He just does bad things.
Yes. Judge Porter, was that last release on ankle monitor?
Yes, ma'am. And I've already signed the paperwork for it.
Yes, sir.
Are you Miss Ferrand?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
All right. And did I pronounce the name correctly?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Just for a little bit, I'm going to put your microphone on mute so that I can talk to the child directly, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I'll also address you as Miss Ferrand. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in detention or be released. My name is Judge Porter. You have the right to have this hearing in front of Judge Kim. You also have the right to have this hearing recorded if you want either of those things. Mr. Adler, your attorney, will let me know. Do you see Mr. Adler on the screen? Okay, is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, I need you to talk out loud for me, okay? You have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. If there's something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, what I want you to do is wave your hand like this. Got it? That'll let me know you want to say something. I'll create a special internet chat room just for you and your attorney to talk about what you want to say. That way he can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Miss Paxton.
Yes.
What brings Miss Ferrand to court today?
Ms. Ferrand is pending court for two separate offenses. She was brought in on March 20th for failure to ID engaging. Several juvenile subjects took items from racetrack at 3 in the morning. They attempted to purchase tobacco. Officers observed 4 teens walking 2 miles from racetrack, believed they were involved in the theft. All 4 were detained, and Janiyah was identified as one of the teens. Camera footage also showed this suspects taking items. She had a pending offense at the time from March 6th. She was referred out of custody for theft of property, 100 to 750. There was a disturbance. Call details advised a Black female wearing a white sweater had taken the victim's cell phone and cash out of her purse outside of Family Dollar. Victim's husband chased Janiyah but was unable to make contact, but he had taken a picture of her, provided it to officers, informing them that she's a student at North Crowley High. They identified her at the school. She was released on EM on March 20th for Judge Kim. On April 16th, mother reported that Janiyah attempted to cut off her EM with pliers, left the home without permission. DTA was issued at that time. Janiyah is currently on a level 3. On April 27th, she was involved in a pretty big altercation in the gym with 3 other female residents. She was placed on confined and secluded status after she continued to threaten staff and peers.
Oh, Miss Ferrand.
Yes, sir.
You heard what Miss Paxton just had to say? Did you hear what Miss Paxton said?
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Mom, you heard what Miss Paxton had to say, correct?
Yes, sir, I did.
Does any of that surprise you?
No, sir, not at all.
Given that she's been in fights in the back, allegedly, do you think she's ready to come home yet?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay. Mr. Adler, what are your thoughts?
Well, Judge, just based on the mom's statement, and I did talk to her. I talked to my client last night, so she kind of knows what's going on. So we're just going to defer to the mom's wishes at this time.
All right, Miss Ferrand.
Yes, sir.
All right, Janiyah.
Yes.
In order for me to consider you for release, what has to happen?
I have to be on a level 1.
Okay, and why is that? Because if you can prove that you can behave in the back, then it gives us a reason to believe that you can behave at home, right?
Yes, sir.
Have you proven that to me yet?
No, sir.
What should happen?
I should get detained.
All right. I want to say this, though, in your favor. Last time you had a hearing in front of me, it didn't go too well, did it?
Yeah.
You left kind of mad, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
But today you've had a much better attitude, and I appreciate that, okay?
Yes, sir.
So I mean that sincerely. I appreciate that, okay? So you're on the right track. You know what you need to do, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's going to be the order of court.
Thanks, Judge.
Thank you. I believe Mr. Beaver is next. Ariana Cardenas?
Oh, Ariana.
Yeah. Mr. Beaver is the attorney.
Your Honor, there's not a parent for this next client.
All right, thank you so much.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Beaver. I'm gonna ask you to start your video for me.
Hey.
There you are. Okay. Are you Ariana Cardenas?
Yeah.
And Ms. Rojas, does she
Yes.
speak English and Spanish or just Spanish?
It's primarily Spanish.
Okay. Mr. Williams, do you speak Spanish at all?
No, no, Judge.
Okay, then I'm going to ask Ms. Rojas and Mr. Beaver if they will help translate for everybody. Ariana, my name is Judge Porter.
Él es el juez Porter.
Oh, mucho gusto.
Gracias. Nice to meet you.
This is a detention hearing.
Esta es una audiencia de detención
To determine whether you should remain in detention or be released to a parent or guardian.
para determinar si puedes irte a tu casa con uno de tus padres o si te puedes ser detenida, mantener detenida.
You have the right to remain silent and say nothing.
Tienes derecho a mantenerte callada y decir nada.
If you want to say anything, please do not yell it out.
Si quieres decir algo, por favor, no lo grites.
Instead, wave your hand like this.
En vez, señala con tu mano.
And I will create a special internet chat room
Y él puede crear otro cuarto
for you and your attorney to talk.
para que tú y tu abogado puedan comunicarse uno con otro sin nosotros estar presentes.
And that way, he can tell you whether or not you should say it.
Y de esa manera, él te puede dar a conocer si puedes decir lo que tienes que decir.
Your attorney is Larry Beaver.
Tu abogado es Larry Beaver.
Do you see him on the screen?
¿Sí lo miras en la pantalla?
No, pero sí lo conozco.
No, but she does know who he is.
Okay, keep looking. I want you to look until you see him.
Trata de ver a ver si lo puedes ver quién es. Él está señalando con la mano, tu abogado. ¿Sí lo puedes ver en la pantalla?
He has glasses.
¿Tiene lentes?
Yeah, pero no lo veo.
You can't hear him? ¿No puedes oír al abogado?
No.
Pues no estoy hablando.
Oh, ya está hablando ahorita. Ya lo oíste si lo miraste, ¿verdad? Okay, she can hear him and she can see him now.
Okay. Okay. Ms. Rojas, what brings Ms. Cardenas to court today?
Okay. Le voy a explicar al juez por qué razón estás aquí, ¿ok, Ariana? Okay. I'm
And
letting her
Ms.
know that.
Rojas, if you want to explain everything in Spanish first and then come back, that's fine.
I just told her that I'm going to tell you exactly the reason why she's was referred into our facility.
Okay.
She was referred initially on the 31st of March for a family violence assault caused bodily injury. The victim is the mother. According to the office report, there was a domestic disturbance at the family home. Once they arrived, Ariana was outside. The police report indicated that Ariana was a frequent runaway and narcotic user, so they were familiar with her. They made contact with mom, and she indicated that Ariana came home late that night. She woke up in a bad mood, walked out of her room and into mother's. She began being disrespectful and using profanity towards the mother. She pushed the baby's bassinet out of the way. Mother then picked up the baby, gave the baby to her husband. Ariana came up to mother in an aggressive manner, and she pulled mother to the ground by her hair, causing mother to hit her head, elbow, and hip on the wood floor. The stepfather was able to pull Ariana away from mom. After everything, they separated, everything seemed to calm down, but a short time later, Ariana went outside and started throwing bricks at the mother's car. This is when the police was called. She was arrested for that incident, brought over to our juvenile detention center. She was initially ordered detained until we had a forensic exam completed. And she was also supposed to get a hair follicle test completed. She had those two things completed. At the next 10-day detention hearing, by that time CPS became involved and they have taken custody of her. So they asked at the last detention hearing if she could be detained until a placement could be found for her. And so far, I was told by the CPS worker yesterday that OKOC located a placement for Ariana, but that they still needed some time to get her to that placement. And I asked her to be on the line today to explain. And that's Miss Jessie Davis.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes.
So I heard from the OCOK worker this morning, and she said that they want to put her at Camp Worth in Fort Worth, and they won't be able to take her until May 6th.
Okay. Ms. Rojas?
Yes.
Does Ms. Cardenas have a parent or guardian here today?
No, Your Honor, and I did speak with mother, and because she has younger children in the home, she wasn't able to be here. She is fully aware of everything that's going on with Ariana. We've also had contact with the district attorney's office, and so basically at this point we're on hold until CPS is able to place her.
Okay. Mr. Beaver, what are your thoughts?
Your Honor, I've been in contact with Ms. Rojas, with Ms. Smith from the DA's office, with my client, and as well as with the mother. And I believe that everybody's on the same page with respect to this. It's my understanding that Ms. Cardenas would be able to be received at the Worth facility next week. And I know that's what the mother wants. I know that my client wants to be released as soon as possible. I know that she's been on the acceptable level, I think, since she arrived. And she wants to move on. And I've been in contact with Ms. Smith, so I think that we have an agreement reached once Ms. Cardenas is released and taken into the rehabilitation center.
All right.
Can I explain a little bit to Ariana what everybody's saying? Okay. El Departamento de Niños y Familia dicen que ya encontraron un lugar para que te puedas ir, okay? Pero no te pueden tomar hasta mayo 6, okay? El abogado está diciendo que todos hemos llegado a un acuerdo, solamente lo que estábamos esperando es el día que te puedas ir a ese lugar de tratamiento, okay? Él está dándole a conocer al juez que tú te quieres ir a la casa, y todos estamos esperando el lugar de tratamiento que te pueda recibir. ¿Ok? ¿Entendiste todo? Ok. Ok, Your Honor.
That's okay. All right. Then, Ms. Cardenas, I will order that you remain in detention.
Va a ordenar que te mantengas detenida en el centro de detención.
But hopefully everything works out next week.
Ojalá todo se pueda arreglar para la próxima semana.
And we will review all this next week.
Y vamos a revisar todo para la semana próxima.
Is that good, Mr. Beaver?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you. Gracias, Ariana.
Suerte a ti.
¿Eh?
Buena suerte a ti.
Ya, gracias.
De nada.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Rojas. Are you Ms. Brunson?
Yes, sir.
Okay. My name is Judge Porter. This is the detention hearing to determine if you should remain in detention or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. If there's something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, what I want you to do is wave your hand like this. That'll get my attention, and it'll also get your attorney's attention. Mr. Beaver, do you see Mr. Beaver on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so if there's something you want to say, I'll create a private internet chat room for the two of y'all to talk. That way he can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Turner-Hill, what brings Ms. Brunson to court today?
Sarah was referred in custody by the Ford Police Department for the offense of assault caused bodily injury against a family member. According to the police report, officers were dispatched to a residence at about 2 o'clock in the morning in reference to a disturbance. Officers spoke with the victim and witnesses who advised Sarah had been placed with the family through CPS since September 2019. During an argument, Sarah allegedly assaulted Mary, who is the mother of the home. Mary's husband, Gregory, who's the victim, intervened to defend Mary. During the physical altercation, Sarah reported Gregory pushed her against a brick wall, causing her to hit her head. Sarah then used her cell phone to defend herself and struck Gregory several times in the head until he let go of her. Sarah felt Gregory was going to assault her again, so she put her leg up to push him away. Gregory advised that Sarah punched him approximately 2 times in the head, 1 time in the stomach, and kicked him 1 time in the left side of his ribs. Officers did observe visible injuries to Gregory, and he was transported to the hospital by MedStar to determine if his ribs were broken. Based on the information from Mary, who did not wish to press charges, and other witnesses at the scene, it was determined that Sarah was the aggressor, and Mary and Gregory were acting in, I guess, loco parentis over Sarah, who had been placed in the home by CPS. So Sarah was arrested and transported to our department. She has 1 prior referral from December 2019, which was a runaway from Ada County. And her CPS worker from Tarrant County, Miss Tiffany, is on the line, and also Miss Gamble, who is the supervisor in Kaufman County, are also on the line for today's hearing. And I believe that's biological mom who's in the courtroom.
Okay.
This is Katie.
Okay, just a second, Ms. Gamble. Mr. Williams, what are your thoughts?
Judge, this appears to be a pretty violent offense with these, I guess, some type of place with a home that she's being placed in. We would ask that she would be detained for their safety.
Mr. Beaver?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure if my client wanted to have a breakout with me first or.
Okay. Ms. Brunson, did you want to talk privately with your attorney? Okay, give me just a second. All right, Ms. Brunson, if you will go down to the bottom of the computer screen.
Me?
No.
Sarah.
Sarah, if you'll go down to the bottom of the computer screen, there should be a more button. Okay. And Mr. Beaver, if you can go down to the bottom of your computer screen, there should be a more button or a breakout room that pops up, and you should be able to go in there.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I don't see either.
Okay, go down towards the bottom of your screen with your mouse.
Okay.
And then some options should pop up on the screen, and maybe either a more button or a breakout room button.
Okay, Your Honor, I think I'm in it now. Thank you.
He's got 2 feeds going.
Your Honor, I think we're back.
All right. What are your thoughts, Mr. Beaver?
Well, Your Honor, my client is just concerned about the timeline as far as when she was placed with the Gregory and Mary. And also, I'm not sure if this is an option, but if it is an option and if Ms. Brunson is willing, the mother, Ms. Brunson, is willing and able to have Sarah return home. I know that's what my client would like.
I believe Ms. Brunson, the parent mom, wants to say something. So if you wanted to ask her some questions, Mr. Beaver.
So yes, please. So Ms.
You, the attorney, may I speak with you for a moment?
I beg your pardon?
May I speak with you?
Are you saying you want to be in a breakout room with me?
Yeah. Is that possible?
I don't know that that's an option.
Okay. It's fine either way. Okay, first, where Sarah was, where the altercation happened, they do not have any kind of, she wasn't placed with them. Like, she wasn't placed with them, first and foremost. And then next, that is not the first time that that man has put his hands on my kid. I mean, he's an alcoholic.
Ma'am, wait, ma'am. We're not here to determine the underlying reason for detention. We're here to determine whether she should remain in custody. We're not here to determine the incident.
I did bring her friend, which was there and witnessed everything, and she's willing to vouch for Sarah and let it be known that she was only defending herself.
That's not the purpose of this hearing, ma'am. The purpose of this hearing is just to determine whether Sarah should remain in detention or be released. We're not going to determine I
misunderstand. I'm just confused. I've never done.
That's okay. That's okay.
Ms. Brunson, so are you telling the court that you would like Sarah to go home with you?
Yes.
Okay. And you're willing and able to take responsibility for her to make sure that she follows the rules of your home?
Yes. I mean, that's been the whole go all along, but you know, it's like, therefore, you know, at first I didn't have anywhere to, but you know, for her to have a room in the beginning, and that was the whole reason why she hasn't been with me. And you know, because if I can't put myself in a room, then how am I going to put my kids in a room? You see what I'm saying? And now that I have that all together and ready, then that's fine. I'm ready for her to come home and get back on track. I mean, she needs to be on track and be back in school and get everything going the way it's supposed to be for her, for the better of her.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Brunson. So, Your Honor, based upon Ms. Brunson, the mother's testimony, we would request that Sarah be released to her custody.
All right. I believe Ms. Tiffany and Ms. Gamble are here on behalf of CPS and OCOK. My first question, is this a CPS case out of the 323rd? Ms. Gamble, Ms. Tiffany?
Yes, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, this is Ms. Gamble.
Is this a CPS case out of the 323rd?
No.
Okay. And were you able to hear what the parent was saying?
Yes.
And what are your thoughts?
Well, the department's biggest worry right now is Sarah's, she's not staying put anywhere she goes. She keeps running away. And so when she runs away, she ends up in bad situations. And so we would love nothing more to get her somewhere where she will stay stable and who can meet her needs. but that's not happening. In fact, the last time we had contact with Sarah before she ran to this Fort Worth place, we asked her if this was where she was going to be. Are you going to stay here? And she said, yes, I'm going to stay. And then she ran away again. And so that's our biggest concern right now, that she's going to get herself into a situation where she's significantly harmed.
Has the department, does the department have any concerns about Sarah being released to her biological mother?
Well, I mean, mom has some history with the department, for sure. I think it would definitely be worth exploring, for sure, as long as Sarah will stay there.
I mean, my CPS history it's been years and years ago.
Ma'am, this is not a free for all. Okay, we're going to go in an orderly fashion. Okay.
Your Honor, it appears that Ms. Brunson, the mother, is able to provide a stable home environment right now. According to the offense history, I don't see prior interactions except for the runaway. And if an electronic monitor could be used, that could help ease some of the concerns of CPS in the court, I believe.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay, here's my problem is we obviously have CPS involved, and we've obviously had a removal from her biological home, and that's been determined by a court of competent jurisdiction, correct?
Yes, there was a removal, Your Honor. I cannot remember without going back and looking which court it was out of and when it was, but it was a while ago.
Okay, and so if I were to release Sarah to her biological mother, am I not undermining that prior court's order at this time?
Currently, the person who has permanent managing conservatorship of the child is Connie Brunson, and I believe it's either her great grandmother or her grandmother. So yes, her mother does not have legal custody of her.
Okay. Do you understand my dilemma, Mr. Beaver?
Yes, Your Honor, and without my having those current orders from the other court, then I would have to defer to the court.
If I didn't have to worry about this other judge's order out there, I would be inclined to release you, Sarah, to your biological mother. However, there is this other judge's order out there, and I cannot undermine what another judge has determined without a copy of that order in front of me and without some leeway. And I just don't have that in front of me right now.
When my grandmother contacted me yesterday, she said that she had given my biological mother back temporary guardianship until I was of age. That way I could be put in school, taken to doctors back and forth whenever I needed it. And that when she was supposed to be here today, that she had that paper in hand, that she had that to show, that way I could be released to her.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I want you to get to level 1-0, Sarah. And they've explained to you what the levels mean in the back, correct? Okay. Sarah? Okay. Sarah, I need you to look at me. There are different levels of behavior in the back. You came in yesterday, you're at a 2 right now. I need you to get to level 1-0, okay?
I still don't know what that is.
Okay. 3 is the very worst behavior, and 1 is the very best behavior.
My mother should have the paper. Why can't I just be released to her?
Okay.
What I did was in self-defense because he
Okay.
choked me.
It's number 1.
Okay. At this time, I don't have a parent or guardian to whom I can release her based on the information provided to me. And so I'm going to have to order that she be detained. That's going to be the order of the court. Thank you, Mr. Beaver.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I don't know if we lost connection with the, okay, there we go. Good.
I apparently, she
Okay.
was not happy with the way things ended. Are you Mr. Allen?
Sir.
All right, Mr. Allen, my name is Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in detention or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to have this hearing recorded. You also have the right to have this hearing in front of Judge Kim if you want either of those things. Mr. Beaver, your attorney will let me know. Do you see Mr. Beaver on the screen?
Yes, sir.
He's waving his hand. All right, you also have the right to remain silent, not say anything at all. If there's something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, what I want you to do is wave your hand like this. I'll create a private internet chat room just for you and your attorney to talk about what you want to say. That way he can tell you whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Dotson, what brings Mr. Allen to court today?
Well, Your Honor, Mr. Allen was referred in custody on April 17th for defense of evading arrest detention. He is the third co-companion in the case we were speaking of earlier, where the high-speed chase and the victim and handgun and the car is being stolen. He has no prior history with our department. He is on level 1, been on level 1 since the 23rd of April. Even though he came in on 17th, tested positive marijuana, he says that he's not a serious marijuana user, casual user, so I had him tested for levels last night, and he did actually come out negative after 2 weeks in detention. And Mom is present in the courtroom.
All right, Mom, what are your thoughts?
I miss my baby. I hope this has been a lesson for him.
Where's he getting the marijuana?
Ask him.
Well, I'm asking you.
I have no clue. I'm a mother of 8 kids. I work. So where he gets his marijuana or whatever from, I don't know.
He's not getting it from you, is he?
Oh. No, sir. You want to test me right now?
You've got 8 kids. You don't have time to smoke marijuana, do you?
Work and sleep.
I was gonna say you barely have time to do sleep, right?
Exactly. And I have one that just turned 7 months, a fresh one. So yeah.
Oh, bless your heart. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Tell me about all the adults that live in your household.
It's me and my husband.
And you're working right now. Is your husband working right now?
Oh yeah.
Who's gonna be there if I were to release Mr. Allen to go home today?
Well, my husband works nights. I work days. So
okay.
Yeah.
So there's an adult there 24/7.
24/7.
And where was this adult that is with Mr. Allen 24/7 on April 17th around 6:30 in the evening?
See, I didn't even know Anthony was gone. Usually, the kids are upstairs and our room is downstairs.
Uh-huh.
And the kids, the older kids, I have an 18-year-old, 17-year-old, so they're all like this. So nobody's gonna, okay, Anthony is gone. So I rarely go upstairs, So I can't even tell you. Yep, I can't even.
So how do you think he got out of your house without you knowing?
I probably would sleep.
Okay. Does he share a bedroom with one of his brothers or sisters?
He does. He shares a bedroom with 2 of his brothers.
And they didn't come snitch on him when he left when he wasn't supposed to?
Nobody snitches on each other.
Oh, no.
Nobody tells me nothing.
Uh-oh. This is not going good for you, Mr. Allen, is it?
No, sir.
Yeah.
It'd be better if one of your brothers would go and tell on you, because that would give me reason to believe that if I were to release you, you'd actually stay home like you're supposed to. Oh, what are your thoughts, Mr. Beaver?
Your Honor, I am pleased that Mr. Allen has been on level 1 since April 23rd. And when I've spoken with him, that I made sure that he and I were on the same page and that he knows what his responsibility is if the court does release him today. And also I'm pleased that his mother is here to say that, yes, that she is going to be there and make sure that he follows instructions. If I could ask his mother a question or two, please.
You bet.
So, and I'm sorry, is your last name Allen also?
No, my last name is Johnson.
Johnson, okay, thank you. So, Ms. Johnson, are you currently married to Anthony's father?
No, sir.
All right. So what can you tell the court to make the judge feel confident that Anthony is going to follow your rules and not leave without permission and make sure that he's not going to be back in front of the judge again anytime soon?
Well, when I talked to Anthony, Anthony has, said that he would stay home. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going to hang with the same people. So I'm believing in him, but I hope he learned a lesson. Like you could tell, like when he first went, he was okay. But as the time passed and I talked to him, he was like, Mom, I miss y'all. I'm ready to come home. I'm never going to come here again. So, I believe him.
And maybe it would be a good idea, Ms. Johnson, to make sure that you have a family meeting and everybody understands that they're supposed to look out for one another, not cover for one another when somebody's doing something inappropriate.
One of the siblings that covers is here. So that's why I turned around and looked at him. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Your Honor, we would request that Mr. Allen be released to his mother. I don't see that he has a prior history with the department, and we request that he be released to his mother.
Ms. Johnson, where'd the gun come from?
Judge, I can't tell you. I can't tell you.
Mr. Allen, do you need to talk to your attorney privately, or is there something you want to say?
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Allen, if it's about the gun, I think that's something that you and I should probably discuss later.
Okay.
So, Ms. Johnson, do you have guns in your house?
Yes, sir, not a one.
Where do you think he got this gun?
He needs better acquaintances.
That didn't answer my question.
Oh, I don't know. He said it wasn't his. He was in a car with, I guess, 3 other guys.
Yeah, but according to the police report, let me read the line to you.
Okay.
Jalen and Anthony both admitted to being involved in the shooting. Period. So that means he knew about the gun and he admitted being involved in it.
Oh, wow.
Does that change your mind on whether or not he really needs to come home to be with your 7 other kids? It might change my mind. Because this is 2 weeks ago. He had a gun 2 weeks ago. Are you convinced that the next time he gets a gun, it's not going to be with one of his 7 brothers and sisters? Are you willing to take that risk?
Yeah.
Because somebody was almost killed in this. They put they put somebody else in the hospital. And if he and his brothers and sisters are as thick as thieves, as the way you describe. What's to say the next time he sneaks out of the house, he doesn't take one of his brothers and sisters with him?
You're right.
Is that a risk we need to take? Has he sufficiently earned your good faith yet? Because I'm not sure he has. Who's to say the next time it doesn't result in either him getting killed or one of his brothers and sisters getting killed?
I think he learned his lesson. Yeah, I think this is a wake-up call for him.
Anthony, if there's something you want to talk to me about privately, would you wave your hand again, please?
All right. All right, Mr. Allen, if you'll take your mouse or the touchpad and go to the bottom of the screen on the computer. Should be a button that pops up that says more, and you should be able to go into a breakout room.
Your Honor, I believe we're back.
Okay. Mr. Dotson?
Yes, sir.
Have you had a chance to talk with Mr. Allen directly?
Over the phone, Your Honor.
Okay. And have you had a chance to meet with family at all?
I spoke with Mom briefly this morning. I haven't had a chance to do the kind of intake interview yet.
Okay.
If I may, Your Honor, just Mr. Allen believes that the offense report contains erroneous information. He denies having been involved in the shooting.
Okay. All right, we've got a baseline for for him being negative for drugs as of today, correct, Mr. Dotson?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to take a chance on Miss Johnson. Miss Johnson, I am going to take a chance and release him to you. However, it is your responsibility to make sure he comes back to court next time. Do you understand that? Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If he doesn't come back to court when he is supposed to, two bad things happen. First, I issue a warrant for his arrest, and he goes back to detention. The second bad thing concerns you. I can issue a warrant that results in you being taken to the Tarrant County Jail.
Okay.
If you get taken to the Tarrant County Jail because he runs away, he doesn't come to court, he doesn't feel like doing it, who's going to provide food and shelter and love to his 7 brothers and sisters? Because it's not going to be you, is it?
No.
Now, is Mr. Allen worth taking a chance on, knowing that it will cause harm to his 7 brothers and sisters and your husband? Are you willing to take a chance on that?
Yes.
Do the needs of the one outweigh the needs of the many?
No. But
No, they don't, do they?
They don't. They don't. They don't.
So you're willing to gamble. Are you willing to gamble on one kid for the sake of the other 7? That's how serious this is.
Yeah, I see. I see.
You see what you're doing to your mother, Mr. Allen, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's flip the script. Mr. Allen, you're in your mom's shoes. Should she take a gamble on one kid at the expense of the other 7?
No, sir.
If she does take a gamble on you, how are you going to make sure she makes it, that it's worth it to her?
I'm going to listen.
What?
I'm going to listen.
I can't hear you.
I'm going to listen.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes, sir.
if he sneaks out of the house, the first thing you need to do is pick up the phone and call Mr. Beaver and let him know. The second thing you need to do is pick up the phone and call Mr. Dotson and let Mr. Dotson know, okay? Because it's going to be Mr. Dotson's responsibility to tell me. But Mr. Beaver needs to be in on that conversation too, okay? All right, I'm going to order that he be released to you. He'll be released on an electronic monitor. That way, Mr. Allen, if you leave the house, I'll know about it within 20 seconds. So you're on house arrest until further notice. You cannot leave that house for any reason whatsoever unless that reason is pre-approved by your probation officer. I'm not going to let mom make the decision. I'm going to let Mr. Dotson be the one to make that decision, okay? You leave the house, we'll know about it within 20 seconds. So you can't leave the house. All right? All right, that's going to be the order of the court. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe that's it for me. May I be excused, please?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Beaver.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Just didn't hand it to you. It's coming.